Second is proper brushing, using fluorinated or non-fluorinated toothpaste twice a day. And last is fluoride prophylaxis. Most commonly used is Knudsen technique. 2% of sodium fluoride for 2 to 4 minutes on each and every quadrant at the age of 3, 7, 9 and 11. Why 3? 3 is the time when all the primary teeth have erupted. 7 because the first permanent tooth, that is the first permanent molar, has erupted. 9 it is a mixed dentition. And 11 because 13 because all of the permanent teeth have been erupted. 2% sodium fluoride.
Excuse me, like SPF solution also we can apply.
SPF solution.
So how you recommend like year-wise? For example, like you said, 3 years of child is allowed.
No. Knudsen technique is done at 4 ages. For 3 year and 7 and 11 and 13.
3, 7, 11 and 13. So we can apply at the age of 3, 7 and 11.
You have to apply at 3 and 7.
Okay.
Because 3 is the primary dentition, 7 is the eruption of first permanent molar, 9 is the mixed dentition, and 13 is the entire dentition is there.
Okay. So single topic application.
No. You have to comply
each
and every quadrant. First to do the pupil study, that is cleaning the entire teeth.
Yeah.
Then 2% of sodium fluoride after proper isolation. Let it dry for 2 to 4 minutes.
Okay.
And this is carried out every month, every week, for 1 month. At the age of 3.
Okay.
At the age of 3, every week for a month.
Fine.
And 7, and 9, and 11. Same procedure.
Great. Thank you.
Every quadrant at 1 second. 4 weeks, 1 quadrant in first second, second quadrant in second second.
Yeah, I think after finishing your lecture, we should ask.
Oh, sorry.
Now coming to the monitoring the primary dentition and transition phase. First, every permanent successor after the exfoliation of the primary teeth erupts within 3 to 6 months. If it is taking more than that, you need to go for an IUP or OPG. Second is resorption pattern of primary teeth. You need to check the resorption pattern of the primary teeth. If there is any aberrant resorption, then what you need to do is take an IUP and OPG, and most commonly it is seen in deciduous canines and deciduous first molars. And the third one is, if the primary tooth has been retained for a longer period of time, it needs to be extracted. Because if not, like in this case, the deciduous canine is still present. If you don't extract it, there will be crowding because the primary permanent teeth will definitely erupt. So if you would have extracted in a proper time, then the permanent teeth would have come in. Now coming to disking. Disking is nothing but slicing. When you see the permanent custard is not getting space enough, what you do is maxillary primary second molar in the mesial aspect to disk it, to slice it. So that in a period of time, the premolar will easily move distally and the canine will come into position. Now coming to early detection of muscle tie. There are 2 muscle ties. The first one is the labial frenum and the second one we know is the tongue tie, the tongue lingual frenum. What happens is the lingual frenum is actually the musculatures of the genioglossus muscle, which usually disappears after the age of 4. So if you see in a patient with the labial frenum, a labial frenum is tongue tie is still there with the genioglossus muscle, you need to wait till 4 years. Because the alveolar bone develops with the eruption of teeth. At the age of 4, the most of the primary dentition is there. So you need to wait. If it persists even after that, you need to undergo excision. The second one is the labial frenum. The labial frenum excision is not to be done before 4 years because of the same reason, the teeth and the alveolus goes with the eruption of teeth. Now coming to space maintainers. Space maintainers are the appliances that are used to maintain the lost space, function and regain minor amount of space loss. The most commonly type of space maintainer is a distal shoe space maintainer or the Roche appliance. It is done when there is early exfoliation of the deciduous second molar. The deciduous second molars guide the first permanent teeth in the mouth, that is first permanent molar. What we do is we first take an IUPA and then we band the adjacently placed deciduous teeth and there is a gingival extension. Now the question is how long this gingival extension should be. While taking an IUPA or an OPA, definitely an IUPA, it should be around 1 to 1.5 mm below the mesial marginal ridge of the first permanent bone. That is, the gingival extension should extend up to that. Only then it will be able to guide the eruption of the first permanent bone. Other space maintainers are crown and bar space maintainers, which can be used in cases where there is early exfoliation of the deciduous molars, as well as the broken stress functional maintainers. The other one is the band and bar fixed type of space maintainers and band and loop space maintainers, which can be used in early deciduous molars exfoliation. Specifically for the mandibular arch, there is lingual holding arch. The lingual holding arch is used when there are multiple early exfoliation of the lower incisors or molars. So we use lingual holding arch. This is made up of the wire 0.036 inch of stainless steel wire. This comes the Merson's modification, just the modification of the lingual holding arch, in which the spurs are added to the distal to the canine, so that it can prevent the distalization of the permanent teeth which are present. Now coming, similarly in case of maxilla, we have Mann's space holding arch, when there are bilateral exfoliation, early exfoliation of the deciduous molars. This can also be used for the prevention of deep bite. Other one is the transpalatal arch, when there is unilateral loss of teeth, unilateral loss of deciduous molars. Now coming to interceptive orthodontics. We need to recognize and eliminate the potential irregularities of developing dentofacial complex. Basically, the interceptive orthodontics are the procedures which are extension of the preventive orthodontics. But it is only difference is the timing of the treatment. The first one is the developing crossbite correction and controlling the abnormal habits. For the developing anterior crossbite, when you see when it is only appropriate when the incisors are erupting, not erupted, they are erupting. We use tongue blade, which is normally we can use as the ice cream sticks. We can easily use. We place it lingually to the lingually inclined incisors, in which the lower incisors act as fulcrum, and you apply a force that is in the outward and upward direction. The patient should be educated to use it around 2 to 4 hours per day for at least 14 days to see positive results. The next one is controlling the deleterious dentofacial habits. So before coming at what actually is habit. Habit can be defined as actions which have become automatic or characteristic of repetition. Several habits: thumb sucking, tongue thrusting, lip biting or lip sucking, and mouth breathing. I'll be discussing each and every one in detail. First, coming to thumb sucking. What actually is thumb sucking? When the thumb lies in the anterior part of the booty, then what happens is there is alteration of the cheek and lip pressure, which causes the maxilla to narrow, and there is also direct pressure on the teeth, which causes proclination of the upper incisors and retroclination of the lower incisors, and thereby causing anterior open bite. How you can prevent it? If the patient himself or herself is willing, no, I need to correct the malocclusion, then the first thing that we do is psychological counseling. We counsel the patient as well as the parent. We ask the patient to record the time by giving the chart. How many times are you sucking? Most commonly used hypothesis is referred to as a Dunlop hypothesis. It is highly recommended and is very positive, in which the patient is asked to sit in front of the mirror and suck the thumb because it brings up the psychological embarrassment that how bad I look. Also, dentists should give the photographs as well as the casts or any positive effects that you have to show the patient that if you continue with this type of sucking habit, these are the results that you're going to face in the future. Second is the reminder therapy. If the patient comes to you with a thumb sucking, lip biting or lip sucking habit, you need to put heme, acetophyta onto the fingers, chilies onto the fingers or the bandages, just to prevent the teeth so that patients do not actually suck the finger. And if it is positive, we need to reward the patient with the sugarless candies. If the habit is still not eliminated, then interventional orthodontists come to use, that is, we use the mechanical appliance, that is tongue thrust. Coming to tongue thrust. Tongue thrusting can be of anterior as well as lateral or posterior tongue thrust. In case of anterior tongue thrust, there is direct pressure on the incisors, which causes proclination of the maxillary and mandible. Here in the picture you can see this is The anterior tongue thrust. The tongue is present between the incisor which causes the open bite to occur. Similarly, there is also lateral tongue thrust. Direct pressure on the molars causing the lateral open bite. So what you need to educate the patient is first with the swallowing exercises. You ask the patient to place a sugarless candies on the anterior part of the hard palate and ask the patient to swallow. You need to re-educate to the subconscious level where the tongue actually needs to be placed. Then, if not, habit breathing appliances are being used, and whatever the malocclusion is, you need to correct it. Not discussing so much about thumb breaking appliance or habit breaking appliance. This is the habit breaking appliance. These spurs, actually, the length of the spurs is not in mm. You generally come across 8 mm का spur होना चाहिए, 8 mm का spur होना चाहिए. No. When you take the maxillary and the mandibular cast, the habit breaking appliance should not extend more than mandibular incisor 1/3. This is the length of the tongue clips. If you are occluding maxillary and mandible, जो tongue clips होते हैं, वो occlude करने के बाद जो mandible incisor 1/3 होता है, whatever the dentition be, उससे ज़्यादा extend नहीं करना चाहिए. It is not in length 8 mm, 10 mm नहीं है. ये एक proper आपको दिया है. Now coming to lip biting and lip sucking, it's just like tongue twist. There is alteration in